I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up, so stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
I do this every time I'm muted. Welcome to the Erica Latrice Show. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. And I am so pumped, if you cannot tell, because today we are talking all things confidence, strength, getting out of your comfort zone, and owning the day. And my goal with this show is that you leave, like I want you bouncing up and down, jumping up and down, so excited to take on life that you cannot help but go out and inspire someone else. That's literally the show summed up. And my two guests on today's show are going to help you do exactly that. We have today in the Be Inspired Cafe, Jason, who is taking over the planet in the areas of fitness, nutrition, and really taking back your confidence and building strength. And as if that weren't enough, our next guest has overcome so much in her own life. Lori has overcome bullying. She's overcome challenges, and she has launched a movement. She is a founder, and she is a CEO of inclusivity. And I have so many other things that I want to share with you guys today. We'll be doing our inspiration rewind. Of course, I'll be kicking you off with our top tips of the day. So all of that and so much more is coming up on today's show. Tag a friend, tell a trailblazer, share this, get the word out. We'll be right back. Soar. If you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com. Hello, welcome back. It is time for our top tip of the day. And as I said, today's top tip, I got fancy today. I wrote it down because I really want to drive this point home. If you don't believe in you, why would someone else? If you don't believe in you, why would someone else? And I keep seeing this message all over the place where it's so tempting in a time like now where there's so much information available to us, so many things like right there at our fingertips that we can find ourselves comparing to other people's progress. But if you do nothing else today, I need you to promise me right now in the comments, if you're watching live, that you are going to own who you are. You're going to embrace who you are, and you're never going to spend another moment comparing yourself to anything other than who you were yesterday as you step out to become your best you. So speaking of commenting, that is my top tip. So if you have an aha moment during today's show, if one of our guests resonate with you or anything like that, you actually can win a giveaway. And we have a lot of goodies for you today. I'll be giving away two things. I have the Focus Fast journal and my all new book, Finish. So if you want to get your hands on it, all you got to do is get your hands on the keyboard, comment, type in all of those good things, and you can win in today's show. So I'm like checking it out. When you see me looking down, I'm just checking out the comments. So today's Real in the Street is another combo. It is a mixture of some Real in the Streets with a little bit of inspiration rewind. I had the privilege of meeting and interviewing Corinne, who is a powerhouse gospel singer, and she's sharing her take on confidence, her take on what it means to stop waiting for other people to approve you, stop waiting for other people to get on board with what you're doing, and actually go out and own who you are and all that entails, because when you do that, doors will start opening for you. So this is what Corinne had to say.
You're one of the artists that I feel like is breaking the mold, you know, in terms of what a gospel artist can look like, can sound. I mean, you have like the Wall group, like people who aren't scared of sound, who aren't scared of color, who aren't scared of trying different things, who aren't scared of showing personality outside of like, you know, just pre and praise and worship. Like, is there a lot of pressure that comes with kind of upholding what the artists before you established, say whether it's the Mary Marys or Yolanda Adams, but also doing it in a way that feels fun and young and fresh for you?
I definitely think it's a lot of pressure, and not just I think it's getting pressure from the church world. Like they like,
girl,
no,
she's showing
you
arm.
doing too much. Bring it down.
That right
and,
arm, that left arm right there.
You know, I know, but you know what? Y'all gonna get it. And I mean, like, it's just, and even on the other side, like, to not be too churchy. So I'm just honestly doing what I feel is best for me. I always love all types.
That is her message, which I think is one that we can drive home right now. Doing what's best for you. And that's just a snippet. But if you want to get the full interview, you can head over to join me on YouTube at Erica Empowers. So I really would encourage you to join the conversation. And I say this, but I mean it. If you have something inspirational that you want to share, if you've experienced something that you think the world needs to know about, join the conversation, comment below, or you can email me at info@ericalatrice.com. When we come back, as promised, I have our special guest in the Be Inspired Cafe, where we're going to be talking about all things confidence, all things excitement. And our first guest coming up is Lori, who is the founder and CEO of Inclusivity. And I'm telling you right now, her story is one that you want to grab a notepad, lean in, because it's so inspiring and it's something that I know will inspire you today. So we will be right back. Get ready for all new episodes of the Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show. Welcome back. It is time for our Be Inspired Cafe. And I have my special guest with me today, Lori, who has such an inspiring story. And I know like people can look at you now, Lori, and see all that you've accomplished, but many people don't know the story behind what you've gone through to get to today. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you stumbled upon the idea that you now execute with Inclusivity?
Absolutely. So I think, Erica, you and I have talked a little bit about that. I started out as a child, I was bullied by my brother, but that's a very small part of the story because I was also raised by these incredible, strong, both my parents are actually pastors and incredibly strong, taught us to love everyone and that it's our responsibility as a human to take care of the earth. So I had that backdrop. And then when I was a teenager, my brother started becoming very bullying. And prior to that, we'd been close. And as an adult now, I look back and I figure something bad happened to him along the way, but I didn't know it at the time. And so my self-esteem plummeted. When I was 10, I was the child who was dancing around the living room, putting on shows for my parents. By the time I was 13, I was the child who hid at school and tried not to be seen. And so my primary goal throughout high school was be invisible. Don't do anything to bring attention to yourself. Don't do anything to make people notice you. And so I was raised in this home that had all of this love and kindness and giving, and yet my own self-esteem was terrible. And it wasn't until I was in graduate school, actually, that I was able to kind of step over that and start feeling better about myself. And up until that point, what's really interesting is that, and I've heard lots of people say this, as a bullied child, I started thinking that everything I did was an imposter. I was an imposter. If I got something right, if I did well, if I got an A, if I got into graduate school even, somehow they were going to find out that I was faking it.
Oh my gosh. So you hit on so many things, Lori, and I actually want to unpack the imposter syndrome. Like so many people struggle with this because a lot of times when you are gifted in an area or when you have been bullied or when you've been told repeatedly that you're not good enough, like that natural leaning towards trying to prove ourselves. So what would you say, like what's one of those keys or one of those things that's helped you mindset wise to start shedding some of that feeling that you're an imposter, that you're not good enough?
So I had a really very definable moment where I started addressing this and taking active steps. When I was in graduate school, I had a professor who literally said to me, you have to stop putting yourself down. I want to hear what you did with your clients, and that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear second guessing. You need to stop that. And I thought, oh my gosh, how can I be an effective therapist if I'm not certain enough of myself to give advice and sort of act like I knew what I was talking about. And I went home and I looked at myself in the mirror quite literally and said, enough. And every time after that, every time I questioned myself, I doubted, I said, well, the only reason I got into that is because I didn't have enough people. Even when I knew that wasn't right, I would say no. And spent my time in my head saying, no, that's a lie. That is a lie. Because what people don't understand is just because you think something doesn't make it true. So if I think to myself, I'm so ugly that no one will ever love me, that doesn't make that a fact. It's my feeling, and it's false. It's a distortion, a complete distortion based on this bullying where my brother said, you are so ugly that no one would ever want to be with you. So in my head, it was my brother's voice. So what I tell my clients and what I've done for myself, I'm now a geriatric psychologist and a business owner. And what I tell my clients and my friends and myself all the time is that you have to actively fight those voices and tell them to go away. They're lying. They're wrong.
That is so good, because I just want to talk about really quickly. You mentioned getting back to the root of it. I think it's so incredible that you now as an adult can point back to being bullied as a child and knowing that it was those moments with your brother that affected many of your thoughts about yourself. So what would you say to that person that can't quite pinpoint? Maybe they haven't taken that step. They don't understand where it's stemming from. This is a two-part question. I'm getting greedy, getting a little greedy because I want to know the answer. A, how do you pinpoint where it's coming from? And B, why is it important to get to the root of where those thoughts and those feelings are coming from?
Well, the first thing I would say is if you really can't, then you can still start telling yourself positive messages. However, it helps if you can pinpoint it. So what I ask people to do is think back over your life and find those messages that someone else has fed to you. Whether it was a teacher saying you weren't good enough at something, whether it was a parent, whether it was a brother or a sister, or the neighborhood bully, whoever it was, track back to those statements, because what you usually will find is that you're repeating them in your head. So for me, until I was in my 30s, I literally thought I was one of the most unattractive people on the planet. And I'm not exaggerating. I really felt like I just was hideous. So unattractive that I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. Like that's just the way it is. I'm just a very unattractive person. Now, realistically, if you look at me, you're thinking, well, you're not. Like, you're fine. You're totally fine looking. So that was such an embedded thing for me that I think it's finding those moments where someone has said something that hurt to your core, and then listening for yourself saying those same things and correcting them.
Oh my gosh. So I have like 1,000 more questions for you, 1,000 more questions. If you all have a question, it pays to be live. So we will be doing some giveaways. I see that Echo said, dig deep. And so many people are relating to what you're saying right now, Lori, because when we carry these things, it can keep us stuck. So I'm talking all about finishing today, so much that I might even show the commercial twice. When we come back, if you want to win a copy of this book, Finish, if you're having any aha moments with what Lori is sharing, with what Jason's about to share in a moment, make sure that you comment live so you can be a part of the giveaway. We'll be right back. Get your copy of my all-new book, Finish, where you can transform your life and get projects done in as little as 7 days. Go to ericalatrice.com. Wow. I'm just catching up on our live comments. Women are sharing that they've self-sabotaged. I'll say women and men. I don't want to discriminate. I don't know. It's a little bit of everyone in there. But sharing self-sabotage, sharing how things have just been a challenge in life. I can relate to so much, Lori. So I have another question for you, because I bring it back to myself because I know my story, I guess, better than other people. But I find that you said that you help in therapy. And I find that usually what we help others with is usually what's challenged the most. I used to try to do days of silence because I was told, like, I was called mouth of the South. You talk too much. And funny now, I do talking. So how have you managed that, where the thing that you actually help people with, your actual gift, is something that you struggled with? How did you make that connection?
Yeah. I made the connection just by being a therapist and listening and realizing that time after time, whether it was, I used to work in trauma, and whether it was trauma, which there's a clear path to what people are feeling, or geriatrics, where I find, again, there are messages from our childhood that have just haunted us and carried with us. And it is never too late to overcome those. And that for me is the most incredible, amazing thing. I have worked with people who are in their 70s or 80s who have said, I've said to them, this can be the best time of your life, I promise. And we've unpacked a little bit, and then we've learned to move forward and embrace the greatness that they are, because people are pretty amazing. And everybody has these incredible stories and things that they can share with us. And I love being in that space of geriatrics, because I get to go back over someone's whole life and look at all the amazing things they've done and remind them of how great they are.
I wish we need to pin that. Someone needs to pin that. It is not too late. It is not too late. You are just like a ball of, listen, if you've been struggling with something, you're never going to walk away not dealing with it. Just in this short time, you have us like thinking of things that we need to overcome. So speaking of thinking of things that we need to overcome and getting connected with you, Lori, how did the idea about inclusivity come about, and how can we get connected with your movement and what you do?
Yes, and briefly. So I tackled all of this self-esteem stuff and decided to become a geriatric psychologist, which I passionately love. And I did it literally by taking a leap. I had no specific training in geriatrics, but I've always loved older people. Took a leap, applied for a job randomly, got the job, and love it. Then about 3 years ago, I'm still doing that part-time, but about 3 years ago, I felt like the world was going in a direction I wasn't crazy about. I noticed that I felt people's rights were maybe being taken away, and that the earth wasn't being as protected as much as I wanted. So I thought, okay, I have to take another leap and I have to do something else. So for me, that meant starting a business, which I had no experience with. And I will tell you, that's a whole other story, starting a business with no experience. But the company is all about inclusion, justice, kindness, and sustainable fashion. And so we have a website, www.inclusivi-tee, and we sell sustainable fashion. We're launching a new product. And what's very, very, very exciting is we often work with artists. And right now we are working with artists to on an auction to raise money for coronavirus recovery. And so I'm so thrilled. And anybody who goes to our website can find out, starting Friday, I think that information will be there, and also learn about our products and everything we're doing.
I love it. Lori, I could talk to you forever because I feel like you need to come back. We're all like, yes, thank you for this.
I would love to.
Yes. So when we come back, Jason is up next, and he's going to be showing you actual form and fitness and all the things that you can do to get out of that comfort zone and start owning everything that Lori just helped us with, how to uncover that confidence and that strength. So we will be right back with our next guest in the Be Inspired Cafe. Do not go anywhere. Keep the comments coming, because you can win today's giveaway just by commenting. If you're watching this, so are your potential clients. I'm excited to announce an all-new season of the Erica Latrice Show. It's coming up right now, and we're looking for featured guests as well as sponsors. If you want to be a success supporter of this show, connect with our team right now by emailing info@ericalatrice.com to get more information, or just support the mission of Be Inspired, to empower and inspire people all around the world with a message of hope and encouragement. Our mission is to bring you uplifting news and talk to encourage and share a platform for those who have a powerful message and looking for a place to share it. If you want to partner with the Erica Latrice Show, you can do so by emailing info@ericalatrice.com or visit ericalatrice.com/sponsor, so that you can be a success supporter of this inspirational movement. All right, welcome back. As promised, our next special guest, I get so hyped when I see his stuff. It's like, you just feel like, you know what? Come on, world, bring it, because I can take you over just by like connecting with Jason. So welcome our special guest. He's a strength and confidence coach. And Jason, you are like, I mean, you had me pumped up. We're in the backstage. He's like, I'm Energy. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this industry?
Sure. So everybody, thank you so much, Erica, for having me on. This is a great show. Lori killed it. This is so inspiring. I'm even feeling pumped and motivated, so I hope you guys are too. But yeah, my name is Jason Rosati. I've been coaching people in weight loss and fitness for the past 7 years. I originally got into the industry because I went through a transformation of my own. When I was younger, I was a very socially awkward kid. I was picked on. I was bullied for my weight. I was teased for the rolls on my stomach, for the fat under my arms, for my double chin. And it led me to a lot of confidence issues, and it gave me a lot of social anxiety. And what happened was, after going through a breakup and losing a large portion of my friends, I got very motivated, and that became a catalyst to me improving myself. So I started getting into fitness, working out, and I ended up losing 50 pounds. And then that helped me then become motivated to help other people as well.
So good. Jason, you do something that I think is so admirable, because you have not only used your platform to help so many people, you share your platform with other people in the exact same industry as you. And so I want to talk about starting with the confidence that you have, because it goes beyond just the confidence physically. It's mental, it's spiritual. Mm-hmm. It's so impactful for anyone to be confident enough to bring someone on in the exact same industry as them and honor them and support them in the way that you do speaks volumes. So what would you say, what's some of those key things that have helped you with getting beyond that person that you were, that you just shared, and that has helped you to stay strong enough to invite other people in to share your own platform?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the number one thing is, of course, there's a lot of different things that you can do for your mentality as far as your confidence goes. But I think fitness is the first key to really leading a very happy life. And I think that because it's a very controllable asset. So you can get in better shape and you can feel better about yourself. You'll have more energy throughout the day. When you eat better, you feel better about yourself. When you look in the mirror and you notice that there's changes going on in your body, it actually makes you feel some type of way. Like I'm doing this thing and I'm doing something that's great. And the problem as I see it is that in the fitness industry, there's definitely a lot of weight loss products and supplements and all these different hacks and cheats and different ways for you to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. When the reality is, we are human beings that have habits and we have a lifestyle, and we do things automatically without really thinking about it. So when we take a look at our daily behavior, I feel like that's when we can really start to then change our mindset as well as we change our behavior.
So Jason's actually going to do a demonstration for us in just a second. Before we get to the demonstration, Jason, what would you say? Is there that one myth that you find yourself constantly having to bust when it comes to fitness and nutrition? If so, what's that?
The number one thing I see that most people make the mistake on is the belief that they need to either limit themselves, give up their favorite foods, or give up an entire macronutrient like carbohydrates. So I believe in being able to lose weight and have a healthy lifestyle while also incorporating your favorite foods. You can eat pizza and ice cream sometimes. You can have a drink with your friends socially. You don't need to give up everything, because then what happens is if you give up all your carbs and you give up all the sugar or all the bread, you wind up just craving it more. So by allowing in moderation, you can, and just being mindful, you can actually create a better lifestyle for yourself rather than just going on a diet and then falling off.
That right there. Thank you for acknowledging pizza and all the greatness therein. And I love, we're going to tell you guys how you can connect with Jason too in just a second. But I love that everything that you talk about is a lifestyle. It's not some fad. It's not, let me get excited for a few weeks and then fall off the wagon. You teach lifestyle. And for that, that's why I have you on the show today, because I love it. And I know that anything worth doing is worth doing indefinitely, and not just by hitting some 30-day goal and then, throwing in the towel. So we're going to come back. I'm going to show you guys, I said once more, how you can get a copy of this book, Finish. Game Changer wrote it in one day, and it's 7 things that you can do to finish. So we'll be right back. Jason's actually going to show you some form. Get your copy of my all-new book, Finish, where you can transform your life and get projects done in as little as 7 days. Go to ericalatrice.com. All right. So Jason, you talked about squats being one of the things that people like kind of jack up.
Mhm.
So I'm going to hand the floor over to you if you want to like talk us through it or walk us through it. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'll walk you guys through the form. Before I get into the actual form of it, the reason why I think this is very important for people to know is, especially with the case that we have a lot of women here, it's very important for women to take up strength training, not just for building muscle, toning up, but also for your mentality, your confidence. It's a stress reliever. You're able to feel better about yourself, and you also make your metabolism a lot faster, allowing you to eat more food rather than trying to crash diet. So the most common exercise that I see done incorrectly is the squat. So we could go on for about an hour about the squat, but I want to go over one key detail in order to keep your lower back safe and allow you to actually activate the right muscles, which of course for us, we're trying to work our legs, we're trying to work our glutes, we're trying to work our core. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate the major problems as I see it with people in their squat form, and I'll show you guys exactly how you can fix it. So when it comes to the squat, there's two different errors that we usually see involving the lower back. So if you've ever felt lower back pain from doing squats, listen up, because this is going to be really important. So let's say feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed slightly out. There's two problems that usually happen. One, people will stick their butt out too much, allowing too much of an arch in their lower back, putting too much pressure there on the joint. And the second issue I see commonly is people will go too low without proper flexibility, and their butt will start to tuck and their lower back will begin to round. Now, with that said, there might be some muscular imbalances and some flexibility issues that you may need to work on, but we could do that more in a deeper program. But for now, let's go over the one cue that's absolutely going to change the game, and that's being able to brace your abdominals and your pelvic floor here and your hips. So when my feet are about shoulder width apart here, I want to take a nice deep breath and get this section where my groin and my abdominals stay tight and secure. So now I'm building up this pressure. So when I go down for my squat, my back stays in a very safe position, and it allows my glutes and hamstrings to do the work. And then when I come up, I can push my hips forward and squeeze my butt. So again, I'm keeping my abdominals and my pelvis tight. So that way I can actually use the right muscles and allow myself to sink in without putting pressure on my lower back here. So again, the first thing that people make the mistake on is overarching their lower back, putting too much pressure there. The second mistake, going too low when you don't have the proper mobility, and you wind up tucking your butt in and you're putting in a little bit too much lower back pressure there as well. So in order to fix that, we brace our abs here, take a nice deep breath in the pelvic floor and in the abs, sink down, allow the glutes to work, push through the legs, and then squeeze your butt at the top. Now I re-brace in between each rep. And now the entire time, my glutes are firing, my legs are feeling that burn, and I have no pressure here on my lower back. So that would probably be the main thing I would like to see fixed more, because I see that problem very common in the gym, and especially with all the home workouts now with the coronavirus.
I love it. Marie said squats are her fave. Let's see how to do them correctly. And Jason, you really just like jumped in and showed us that, and I love it. So what's the best way for those that want to get connected with you? They want to learn more about proper form and jump in. I know that you have like a fun resource for those of us that are online. So what's that?
Yeah, I actually do have a group membership that I take my clients through. It's a very affordable personal training program where it teaches you how to work out, teaches you how to build your nutrition plan, and you do this in a way that's not going to restrict all your favorite foods. You can actually eat more food and lose more weight once you do it right. So I also have a 14-day $5 trial with that, where you can actually start to make these transitions over 14 days. It's www.breaktheyoyo.com. This stands for breaking that yo-yo cycle of dieting that we see commonly when we're trying to start our diet again on Monday. We're going to break that. We're going to make this into a lifestyle. So it's www.breaktheyoyo.com. BREAKTHEYOYO.
I love it. We got it right up there. If you guys are ready to break the yo-yo, eat the pizza, eat whatever you need to with guidance from Jason, then you definitely want to go to breaktheyoyo.com. We're going to wrap up with our final thoughts right now as we close out. So I'm bringing Lori back up. We're just going to let you guys know some of the powerful things that you can do in approximately 30 seconds. As we wrap up this show today, I'm so excited. If we could do a final toast, if you guys have like your cafe cups. Everyone brings their cups. I'm telling you guys, if you have a cup and it doesn't have an E on it, I'm sorry, but you should get an E on it. Take a picture, tag me, I'll love you forever. So let's wrap up with you, Lori. What's that one takeaway that you want to leave the audience with today?
I would say two things. It's never too late. And those voices in your head that are telling you you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough are wrong. They're liars, and you need to argue with them.
I love it. What about you, Jason?
Allow yourself to exercise. It will make you feel a lot better. It will get a lot of stress relief out, and it'll help you feel more confident. And you don't need to give up your favorite foods in order to lose weight. You don't need to cut out all the carbs. You don't need a weight loss product. You don't need a waist trainer. You just need to do some quick changes to your nutrition. That's it.
Ooh, I love it. So it is time for our giveaway of the day. My final thoughts for you is that it pays to comment. It pays to comment. And our winner of her very own copy of Finish is Echo Royal. And she says it's an excellent book. So how much more deserving is she now? Congrats. If y'all can just congratulate Echo there in the comments. As I'm always telling you, stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. If this message inspired you, encouraged you, tag a trailblazer, share it with a friend, tell someone else about it, and go out and make today, not tomorrow, not next week, not the day after. Don't worry about yesterday. Go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice. We'll see you next time. This is your cue to dance to no music. Bye, everyone.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.